And when working on, come on girl, if you were going to use cream products, concealer, so that everything is just, and that's kind of how my life goes. What's good? Why is this doing that? Primer. So I think that that's just, whoo girl. Alright ladies and gents, we're back at it. We're here with another makeup tutorial, and today we're switching it up because I'm doing a talk through. It has been a hot minute since I sat down and kind of just talked to the camera, and honestly I missed it. I feel like I needed it. I just needed to just talk about random stuff and kind of describe my makeup rather than doing a voiceover. Please let me know down below if you guys prefer seeing voiceovers or talk throughs because I want to film what you guys want to watch, obviously. Moving on to today's video, I am showing you guys a tutorial on this full face makeup right here. I actually had someone request that I do a work makeup tutorial or something that is a little bit more glam for if you're going out, you're going to work, but you want to look put together. I wanted to focus on using more natural tones. I show you in this look how you can spice it up or how you can tone it down and what kind of levels you can take it to. Of course, you can do whatever you want. There are no rules in makeup, which is why I personally love it so much, but I just wanted to give you guys a nice base and foundation to kind of go off of for if you're going out, you have an event, or you just want to look kind of put together. This would be perfect. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I got this look, then just keep watching. Okay, so I honestly do not wear a lot of makeup when it comes to work. I just don't like having a lot of makeup on my face. I usually work pretty long hours, and also I am really hot when I'm working. I'm dealing with hair dryers, I'm washing clients with hot water, I'm doing dishes with hot water, I'm folding hot laundry, so I just don't want to wear a lot of makeup on my face. I do a full coverage and a full beat when I'm filming, but other than that, I don't really wear a full face of makeup, believe it or not. So the first thing I usually do when getting ready for work is I wash my face, which I obviously did before this, and now I'm going to start off by priming. Depending on what kind of look I'm going for, I will use a different primer. If I want something that's a little bit more glowy, I usually reach for this Too Faced Do You primer. This is such a beautiful primer and it smells really good. I'm actually just going to reach for my Too Faced Hangover primer. This is the Hangover X primer. I love this stuff because it does a really good job at moisturizing your face while holding your makeup on at the same time. I find that I have a little bit more longevity with my makeup with this primer, so I think that's what I'm going to put on today. It smells so good too. I mean, you really can't beat it. It smells kind of like coconutty, so if you're not a coconut fan, then I would not recommend this, but I feel like this primer just really gives the skin a nice healthy glow. I feel like I kind of just look a little bit more luminous, and my skin definitely feels a little bit more moisturized, which I definitely need more moisture going into winter. Unfortunately, summer is ending. I'm having like a midlife crisis about it. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm not a winter person, and also my skin doesn't like winter, so I've definitely been kind of migrating. Is that the right word? I don't think so. I've been reaching for more moisturizing products lately, and I've really been loving them. So as always, feel free to leave some of your favorite product recommendations down below. Your girl is always looking for new things to try. But moving on to foundation. Now, I don't wear foundation on a day-to-day basis. Like I said earlier, I really just want to focus on covering up the areas that I don't like or that I feel like need a little bit of coverage or a little bit of brightening. So for me, that's obviously going to be my under eyes. I could sleep for 12 hours and still have dark under eyes and circles and bags. It's not cute. Honestly, it's just something I've learned to live with. So I love using a brighter concealer under my eye. I live for a bright under eye. I feel like it just really brings the face to life, and it makes you look more awake, which I could always use some of that, let's be honest. For concealer today, I'm just going to be using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and then I'm also going to be reaching for my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Concealer. The reason why I'm using two different concealers today is because this one is brighter and this one is a little bit darker. So I'm going to be focusing this Too Faced concealer where I want brightness, obviously. So for me, that's going to be under my eyes, and then I just have some spots on my face because my skin is playing me. What's new? So for that, I will be using my L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. I've really just been loving the light makeup look lately. I feel like it just makes my skin better over time. I feel like I've kind of have a little bit more control over my breakouts and things like that. I usually like to use a sponge or a brush. Today, I'm just going to be using my JH08 brush. I like this brush because of the shape. It is smaller, but it is a little bit more domed, so I feel like I can get my under eye really well. And it also blends out the product nicely while not absorbing too much, which we all want that, let's be honest. So I am going to just put a little bit of this under my eyes because this is not a look, okay? And I really just focus this on the very inner corner. You can see I do put on like a decent amount, let's be honest here, but I like a bright under eye, and I also kind of slightly bring this down a little bit where I have some more redness, so I like to apply a little bit more to help conceal. Sometimes I will just do this, but today I'm also going to add a little bit of my L'Oreal concealer right to my outer corners just to help balance everything out so that my under eye isn't too bright with that concealer. If I were a little bit more pale and in a couple of months I can get away with just using this, but I feel like I want it to look a little bit more natural, and by adding a darker color it kind of just blends it into my skin a little bit better. So now I'm just going to take this brush and I'm going to focus on working on that inner corner. I'm going to tap it in, kind of bringing it actually right to the side of my nose, because a lot of times when you want a brighter makeup look, you don't just want to put it under your eye and have it bright right there. You kind of want the whole center of your face here to be bright. So I'm going to focus on getting that lighter concealer blended in, and then as I work towards that outer darker concealer or that L'Oreal concealer, I'm kind of just really making sure that I'm blending it out and down so that it looks natural. Obviously this right here does not look natural. We will fix that later with powder, so don't stress. It's all about blending. It's all about blending. I'm bringing this a little bit onto my nose, like I said there, and then as I said earlier, I'm just slightly blending this down just so that there's not a harsh line with that concealer and so that it's nice and blended into the skin and nothing is tacky. I will also bring this onto my lid here to use as a primer. So I'm just going to look up as well. I feel like I can kind of get closer to my lower waterline, or closest to my eye when I look up. It also helps me not blink so much. And then, yeah, just there's really no rhyme or reason. Clearly I'm being messy, which I'm kind of about. I really just like to get my makeup on quickly and get it done most days, so we're just going to blend that, and then also I'm just going to kind of bring that up here. So you can see already my face looks brighter. Obviously it's super bright and then kind of nothing anywhere else. We're going to go in with bronzer and kind of bring everything together later, but now I'm just going to go in. I want a little bit of concealer over that because my skin is playing me, ladies and gents. I'm just going to put some of this down my nose just to balance it out because it is super bright there, and then a little bit on my chin. You can use a sponge, you can use a different brush. I like to just do things quick, so I'm going to use this same brush here. And when working on building coverage in areas, especially with concealer, I don't swipe, I pat. So I'm literally just going to pat this in. What this is going to do is it's really just going to focus on pushing that product into the skin, and not only are you going to get the best coverage, but I also feel like it looks the most natural, because sometimes when you swipe you can get those like kind of streaky marks, which is not cute. So make sure you pat, blend that shit out, okay? Also, sorry that my camera like never focuses correctly. I'm trying my best, okay? Honestly, that theme seems like a theme in my life lately, but whatever. Okay, so as you can see now, my face definitely looks a little bit more even as far as coverage and color goes. I have that brighter under eye. I feel like I actually look awake. Honestly, I'm living for it. I actually really want my coffee right now, but it's in the other room, so we're gonna keep moving. I'm not gonna be using any cream products today, but if you are using cream products, use them now before you go on with powders so they don't look patchy. You guys know the drill. Powder is the last thing you kind of want to use to set. You don't want to layer creams over powders. For the most part, yeah, you don't want. We'll get into that in another video. So now I need to set my face, and I'm just going to dip into my RCMA No Color powder. This is just a translucent powder. You can also use it to brighten a little bit. If you kind of pack it on, it will also give a little bit of a brighter appearance. I don't feel like I need that brightness today because I just did go in and conceal my under eye. So I'm just going to pick up my favorite brush for my under eye, which is my JH07 brush. This brush is bomb, you guys. It literally just fits so nicely in your under eye right here. You can literally just get that area so quickly. It's also not too dense, so it doesn't pack on the product too much. It really just does a nice job at applying it. I don't know if you can buy these brushes singularly, but if you can, I would recommend trying this out. So what I like to do, you guys know, before I set my concealer, I have to blend out my under eye, otherwise I will be creasy. So I'm just going to tap out my under eye really quickly. And then while I'm still looking up, I'm going to take the brush with the powder on it and just go in and directly set my under eye. I'm also going to bring this down in this just triangle area where I put all that concealer, not only to set it, but just to make sure that this area stays a little bit more matte. I tend to get a little bit more oily on the sides of my nose here as well as the center of my face, so I kind of just like to make sure that I'm doing a nice job at setting that area down. Also just gonna bring that onto the lid just to set it, and then I'm gonna go in with a powder all over my face. This is just going to help to add a little bit more coverage and kind of just really balance out my skin tone so that when I go in with bronzer and everything later, everything's kind of just one tone. This is gonna add a little bit of coverage, but feel free to skip this if you don't need any more coverage. I'm trying to add on some products so that I look nicer longer, you know? So I'm just going to dip into my Emani. This is the Flawless Matte Foundation Powder, and I'm just going to actually, all my powder brushes are dirty. So this does come with like a little sponge here. What I'm gonna do is just pat this into here and then pat it directly onto my face. You can swipe this around, but once again, you get more coverage with patting, and I feel like I kind of just like to pat it down first to get the product on, and then I will slightly blend it around. But I really need to clean my brushes. I am so bad when it comes to doing that. Honestly, I hate it so much. It's just that I have a lot of brushes, which I'm honestly so grateful for, but it's just so much work to clean, and it just is so time consuming, and it hurts my back because I'm like bent over a sink, and I'm just not trying to do that. So one of these days I will clean my brushes, and when I do, I don't like to use this as much as I do like to use a brush. So you can see I'm just patting this on, and then I'll just kind of slightly just swipe it around because like I said, I don't feel like I need a lot of coverage. I just want to kind of balance everything out, and also just put a little something over where I didn't put that concealer so that everything is just, and that's kind of how my life goes. Okay, so now we're done with powder. I'm gonna pick up some bronzer and we're gonna go in and bronze up this face. We're gonna bring it to life because not only do I look pale, my face looks a little round. So let's just, you know, let's bring that in a little bit. My favorite bronzer for, honestly, I feel like the past year has been this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Not only is it from the drugstore, and not only do I love the packaging because honestly, I'm like obsessed with the beach. Just the little things, you guys. It's the little things in life. But I am just going to dip into this. You can see I have been loving this. It is nice because it is a matte bronzer, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it. So I feel like it does do a good job at kind of just bringing a little bit of, you know, like a glow, a little bit of oomph to your face. Lately, I've been using my JH06 brush to apply this. I've been really enjoying this because it is a little bit angled, as you can see. I feel like it does a good job at just kind of going in and kind of catering to those contours of your face. So I'm just going to swirl this around a little bit, tap off the excess. You always want to tap off your product, ladies and gents, because if you don't, you will have a lot on there. You won't have as much control over the product. It might look a little messy, and it's a hot mess. So make sure you tap off your brushes, okay? We do that for a reason. I'm just going to start at my forehead temple area, kind of pushing it back into my hairline, and then I'm gonna go along to my temple and my, what is this? Cheekbone area right here. And then I'm going to bring this down my jawline and my neck. So really just the perimeters of my face. I always bring everything down my neck. We don't want to have a floating head and have this be two different colors. That's a dead giveaway. So let's leave that in the past. Okay, moving on. What I like about this bronzer is I have a lot of control over it. It is lighter, so I feel like I can go up and build it up in areas that I need, which I love. I always bring some onto the tip of my nose because that's where I tend to get a little bit more tan when I am in the sun, which is like never, unfortunately, because Pennsylvania sucks. But moving on. To be completely honest, I don't wear blush on a day-to-day basis, but saying as I am filming this video for you guys, I will put on some blush. I really always reach for my Morphe Pop of Coral Blush Trio. It is just so pretty. I feel like it gives a great range of shades because you do have a matte pink right here, you have a brighter, more shimmery pink, and then you have a little bit more of a tan blush, which is my go-to. This shade Unapologetic is what I'm going to be using today, and it might just be my favorite in this blush trio. I will be using my JH04 brush. This is a great blush brush because it's angled and I feel like it gives you a good amount of control over the product. So I'm just going to tap right into here a couple times, tap off the excess, and then I'm going to focus on putting this right from about the outer corner of my eye up. I don't bring it too far onto the apples of my cheeks because I feel like that can kind of bring my face down. I like to put my blush more in an angled shape to kind of lift everything up a little bit more. So I will just literally start by patting in this area. I don't really like to run the brush around because I feel like, once again, I get a little bit more control when I pat, and I get a little bit more coverage when I pat. Now, I do find that my blush sets very quickly on my face, so when applying my blush, a lot of times I will do a little bit more than I need because in a few minutes it will literally look like my face is eating the blush, I swear. So if I put this on and it looks a little crazy, it's gonna set and it'll look fine in a couple minutes. What I like to do before going in with highlighter is just really go in and kind of just pat this and blend this into my skin to make sure everything is kind of just one. and that I didn't create any harsh lines. And now we're gonna move on to highlighter. Let's see, I think today I'm gonna reach for my Colourpop highlighter if I can find it. I will be using my Colourpop Super Shock highlighter in Lunch Money. I love this stuff so much. It is the most beautiful pearl shade. And I actually prefer to use this product with my finger. I feel like I get a little bit more control. So I just kind of go in and tap that on. I'm just going to put this right onto my cheekbone right here. I kind of like to just tap it, and then I will kind of go in and rub it slightly, but I don't want to move my foundation or makeup around too much. So that's why I start to pat, and then with a very, very light hand, I kind of just go in and blend that into the blush. I'm so sorry my camera's not focusing on me today. I don't know what's good. I'm going to try and figure it out, but bear with me. So now, honestly, I have my face down. This is what I do. I sometimes don't even do blush and highlighter. I will literally do concealer, bronzer, and powder, and that's it. For my brows, I don't really feel like I need to do too much to them, so I'm just gonna go in and line the bottom of them a little bit and bring the product up and kind of use a spoolie to brush the product up. I do have a brow tutorial, so I will link that down below if you guys are interested. I'm just gonna zoom through this really quickly because if you want to see how I do my brows, you can watch my brow tutorial. Alright, now I'm just going to throw on a quick coat of brow gel. This is my Benefit Gimme Brow Plus. I love this because it is pigmented. To be completely honest, I'm kind of running low, so I'm going to have to pick up a new one. But this just does the job. It sets them in place and just kind of fills them in a little bit if you're a little patchy, or a lot of times I won't fill in my brows and I will just use this and I'm good to go. So now that we have the face done, here's the part where we move on to the eyes. A lot of times I might just wear mascara. I might do a kind of full-on smoky eye. It really depends on my mood. A lot of times I try to stick to a little bit more of like your natural glam. I want something that is going to bring my eyes to life and define them, but not something that is like too much. I do work in a salon, so I could pretty much wear any kind of makeup I want any day, which I'm very grateful for. Sometimes I go a little crazy, but on a day-to-day basis, I stick to more of that natural glam look. So I'm pretty much pick any palette. Right now in front of me, because I was doing my last tutorial, I have these palettes as well as my James Charles palette. But let's see, I might as well just dip into my Soft Glam palette. This is actually a great palette for everyday makeup. As you can see, it has your warm tones in here, it has some cooler tones, and you have some shimmery shades. I'm going to just start off by using the shade Orange Soda. This is just a very light transition shade. I almost don't even need to use this, but because I have the shadow in this palette, I'm going to use it. I'm just going to take a fluffy blending brush and put that through my transition area just to start to add a little bit of color. I'm just making sure to bring this all the way from that inner corner to the outer corner. I'm slightly putting in this in my oh my god, that was not English. I'm slightly putting this in my crease, and then I'm blending it up towards that brow bone area and making sure that I slightly wing it out at that outer corner. Obviously you can see the shade does almost nothing, but it does a little something, so that's good enough for me. Alright, now I'm going to dip into one of my favorite shades. This is Burnt Orange. It is basically the exact color that it says it is. It is a muted tanner orange warmer shade. I love this. I use this honestly almost every day. It's great for blending. I sometimes just throw this in my crease and call it a day. It's very versatile, which I really love. I'm just going to pick up my Morphe E17 brush and focus on putting this tighter into my crease to build a little bit of definition. So I'm just bringing this in windshield wiper motions from that inner corner to the outer corner of my crease. I'm also going to slightly blend this shade up as well, but I do not want to take it past that Orange Soda shade because we want it to be lightest at the brow and then getting darker as we go down to the crease. So you can see that just adds a little bit more definition, which I'm about. I love defining my crease. I feel like it just really is something so simple that makes such a huge difference. A lot of times I will just leave my makeup like this, but since I'm filming a tutorial, we're going to do some couple extra steps, so feel free to take this look as far as you want to. Slightly bringing it to the outer corner and then blending it out again. Okay, so you could totally leave the crease like this. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do a little something extra, and I'm gonna spice it up a little bit by dipping into the shade Sienna. This is a gorgeous, almost kind of like a burnt brick shade. I really love it. Let's see, I just need a blending brush. Honestly, I'm probably gonna use the same Morphe E17 brush because the burnt orange shade was lighter than the shade I'm going in with. Might as well just use one brush, and also it's like the perfect shape for my crease. So with a very light hand, I'm just putting this directly into my crease. It's okay if it gets on the lid, I'm not really worried about that. We're going to be putting shades down there anyways. And then I'm going to slightly bring this onto the outer corner. So you can see I'm just starting to build definition in this area to kind of I don't really know what other word to use as definition, but to define that crease in that outer corner area, that will really make a difference in your makeup look because it kind of just creates a shape and brings everything together. I'm going to go back in with my M505 brush and slightly blend out the lines that we just created. This is also going to help to blend all of the shadows together, and I just want to make sure that I didn't create any harsh lines because that's not what I'm about today. Now that I have some definition on my eyes, I'm going to pick up the shade Glistening, which is this shade right here. With a flat shader brush, I'm going to go in and focus on packing that on my inner corner lid, blending it back towards my outer corner. So I'm not going to go in and cut the crease, but I'm almost going to treat this like a cut crease where I'm going to go in and make sure that I really get it nice up to that crease area and then slightly blend it backwards. Obviously, you can go in and cut the crease. I just feel like it's kind of redundant. There's no need. I'm going to be covering it up anyways, but feel free to do whatever your heart desires. For this, I'm just going to be using my Morphe M421 brush. That's pretty, but I want some Fix Plus with my shadow. Honestly, I almost always use Fix Plus with my shimmery shadows. It just really gives them a little bit more pigment, makes them appear a little bit more foiled, and I just really love the way that it looks. So as you can see, I'm bringing this right up to that crease, and I'm working on slightly just blending it back towards that outer corner. You can see I'm going directly up to that crease and then just blending this shadow out. And I'm just going back in with a little bit of this sienna shade and making sure that I blend these two areas together, that I didn't create any harsh lines, and also just to add a little bit more definition and back to that outer corner. You can totally stop here, but I just kind of want to show you guys where you can take this look. A part of me really wants to just keep darkening it and adding more colors. I am not going to do that. I'm going to restrain from the urge inside of me to just go all out. Instead, I'm going to dip into the same palette and I'm just going to take this black shadow right here. This is in the shade Noir, and I'm going to push that up against my lash line with a flat shader brush and slightly blend it out just to define that lash line. You can go in, you can do wing liner, you can totally skip this step, you can use a brown shadow. Honestly, you can do whatever you want. I just like to add a little bit of definition, and by using a shadow versus a liner, it's going to look a little bit more smooth and sultry and a little less harsh in the sense. Don't get me wrong, I love a good wing liner. I just don't want to commit to one today, let's be honest. So I'm just going to take my JH43 brush. This is just a flat shader brush, and or a flat definer brush, and I'm just going to literally tap right into that black shadow and then just go right up against my lash line right here, kind of pressing the shadow down and then kind of wiggling the brush back and forth. And then once I have the amount of pigment on that I want on, that is when I will go in and start to blend it out. You can really make this as dramatic or as natural as you want. I just love adding a little something to that lash line. You can see it really just makes a huge difference in your eyes. Black shadows can be very, very pigmented, so use a very little bit at a time and kind of just go in and blend it out as you go along, because they can really quickly overpower your makeup look, which is not the vibe I'm going for today. I'm going to stop with my eyes, even though I want to keep going, and I am going to apply some mascara. Normally on a day-to-day basis, I don't wear lashes. Obviously, if I don't wear foundation, I'm not wearing lashes. For the purpose of this video, I will put on lashes to just show you guys what it looks like, but normally I would just go in and curl my lashes and apply a shit ton of my Hello Lashes mascara by IT Cosmetics. So to prep my lashes for falsies, I'm just going to curl my lashes and apply some mascara, and then we will move on to putting on some false lashes. I always look down into a mirror when applying mascara because otherwise I will get it all over my lid, and there's a chance that I will get it all over my lid anyways, but that is a risk that I'm willing to take. I just got mascara in my eye and it hurts to open it. Ooh. My eye's gonna water, isn't it? It's fine, I'm fine. It's fine, I'm really fine. No, like I'm really okay. Does that ever happen to you guys? I feel like I can't open my eye for like a minute now. It's watering. It's irritated. Please hold. I will be using my Tracey Chic lashes in the style Queen for today's look. These are so pretty. I feel like they are great for more natural or more dramatic looks, and you can really use them with any makeup look. You guys already know I have a code with Tracey Chic lashes. It is Brooke20. You can save 20%, and honestly, if you do use it, it helps me out so much. It helps them know that you're coming from my channel and that you support me and that you like their products as much as I do. So feel free to use that code. Your girl wouldn't be mad. Support your girl. Show me some love. I'll show you some love right back. That's just how it works around here. Okay, so now that I have the lashes on, of course you can totally finish off the look here. However, I want to go in on my lower waterline and add some, sorry, I have the hiccups, and add some liner and kind of smudge out some shadow and put a little bit of mascara down there. So I'm going to be using a brown liner today. this is gonna happen. I'm so sorry. I was gonna use a white liner. That's gonna open up your eyes a little bit more and just make it look a little bit more, you know, like fluttery and open and just a little bit more younger. However, I want to use a brown liner because it'll kind of tie in with the tones we have on today, and it will also kind of just really define the eyes without being too harsh like a black liner would. We'll be using my Morphe eyeliner in the shade Richie. This is just a dark brown liner. I love this. It is my go-to, and I'm just going to run this into my lower waterline. And I'm going to take the shade Sienna, and I'm going to push this right up against my lower lash line, and then I will be blending it out with the burnt orange shade. I'm also going to make sure that I connect this with that upper outer corner. So I'm going to blend it out like that and then just wing it out just so that I have a little bit of an angled blend there rather than just having the shadow on the upper lid and that lower lash line. I want them to be connected. For that, I'm literally just going to dip right back into my Colourpop Lunch Money highlighter, and I'm just going to put this onto my brow here. Kind of blend it on with my fingers. You guys know the drill. So for lips, you can obviously do whatever lip combo you want. I usually reach for a nude, surprise, surprise. Honestly, the liner I use in almost every tutorial and pretty much on a day-to-day basis is the Morphe lip liner in the shade Backseat Love. I like this because it's just a pinky nude shade, and it works for if I'm using darker colors or lighter colors. It just really helps to give me a guide to where I want to put my lip products. And I've actually decided this is a little too pink for today's look, so I'm just going to take my Morphe lip liner in the shade Sweet Tea. This is obviously just a little bit more of a brown liner, and I'm going to go in and just fill in the outer corners of my lips and slightly blend it in so that I have a little bit more of a pinky nude on the inner part of my lips and a little bit more of a warmer brown nude on the outside of my lips. I'm just going to take a little bit of my Maybelline lipstick in the shade Nude Lust, and I'm going to put this right into the center of my lips. Then I'm just going to take this Revlon lip gloss. This is in the shade Sandstone, and I'm just going to put this all over. Alright you guys, so this completes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It has been a hot minute since I've done a talk through tutorial, or since I did, you know what I mean. Let me know down below if you guys prefer seeing a talk through tutorial or a voiceover. I normally film voiceovers just because I can edit them quicker, but if you guys enjoy seeing a little bit more of me kind of sitting down and talking, I'm so down to film these kind of videos, so just let me know down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I know I say this every video, but subscribe, hit that like button, hit that bell button. I really truly appreciate it. I know it sounds so cheesy and so corny, but it means the world to me that I have your support, and I'm just so grateful that you guys watch my videos because I genuinely love doing this. It makes me so happy, and the fact that you guys watch my videos and enjoy them just makes me even happier, so thank you so much. Also, feel free to leave some comments down below letting me know what kinds of videos or looks you would like to see from me next, and with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.